Hello guys, this is your friend Cindy, and in this video we are going to create your first platformer game using the GODot engine. Alright, so if you're a beginner such as myself, you must watch this video. Okay, let's create a new game. So by the way, I'm using GODot 3.3. Alright. Also, if you like the channel, you can subscribe and like the video as well. So let's create a new project, and it's going to be and I'm going to put it on my GODot files. Select current folder, create new folder here, and then let's create and edit. Now, this video is going to concentrate on the world and on the player instances. Alright, so we don't have menus here and musics and enemies as well. So I'm gonna make that the next video. So if you like this video and you want this series to continue, you can comment down below. Alright, so firstly, let's create a new folder. It's going to be scene folder. So all of the scenes, player, world is going to be inside that folder, and the other one is going to be the script folder. So that's it. Now I'm going to go to my files, and I'm going to export my resources for my player and the world. So I'm going to go for my asset, my resources, and this resources is going to be the one who contains all of my needed assets. Okay, so I'm going to copy that. I'm going to go to documents, and to our newly created GODot, where's that? Yeah, GODot platformer, and I'm just going to paste it here, my resource folder. So this resource folder is not really that important to the script and scenes, but it is. It is actually important because it contains all of the assets. So I have a background, an enemy asset there, an object which is going to be visually attracting later on, a player. Alright, I got the images for player there, and I also got a tiles for our TileMap later. So I'm going to just close that and wait for it to re-import. Right. So first, let's create our test world scene where we can jump, we can walk. So I'm just going to create a new scene here, and I'm going to name it test world. Alright. Now I've got my test world here. I'm going to close this one. Oops. I guess that's the one that I've. So I'm just going to select this 2D scene here, and then change this to test world. Now I'm going to save it to the scene. So I've got here the scene test world. We are going to set this as our main scene. You can just press F5 and select the test world scene. Now when you run it, we can see something like this. So it's all blank. You can adjust the window size if you want here. The project, just go to the project settings, just fetch here the window, and you can adjust your width and height of the window. So I'm not gonna do that here. The next thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add a background to this. Alright, so for adding the background, you just need a texture rect. Alright, so I'm gonna go add a texture rect there. So you can actually adjust your texture rect, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm just going to go to my background, and I'm going to drag the background here at the texture rect, and it'll just expand itself. Now I'm gonna move this background to like that. Now in the runner program, we can see something like this. Alright, so the next thing that we want to do is to add a tile map. So basically, TileMap is what we need to create, you know, create blocks here at our world scene, right? So I'm gonna go for a cell. I want my tiles to be like 32 by 32. And then I'm going to add a new tile set. Just click the empty new tile set, and then just click the tile set itself. Now, you can add images here, you can add multiple images, but I'm going to add just one. So I've got here an image. This is a plain black square, alright? I'm going to add that, and I'm going to add a new single tile. Alright, so I'm going to select that. You can select this, you can on this, what is this called? Grid snap. So you can actually snap like 32 by 32 pixel. So as you can see, you have 4 choices, but they're all just the same. Just select one and add a collision to that. Select the square here and click on that. Now you have a tile. Close this, click the tile map, and you can actually add a tile right now. Alright? So I'm going to delete this. I'm just going to Control Z. So to add, you know, a multiple tile. By the way, you can add. Wait for a while. Oh my! Or tile map has been deleted. So I'm just going to create a new one. All right. Yes, new single tile. Collision. We want to collision to our tiles so that we can collide later on. Alright. Oops. I want my cell to be 32 by 32. Okay. So if you want to add like a blocks of these squares, then you can hold the control and shift, and then you can add something like this. If you want to delete, you can hold the control and shift and then right click instead of clicking. Now you can delete tiles and add tiles. Alright? So we can add something like this so that we can jump on that later on. And if we run our program right now, it looks like this. So it's a little bit visual attracting, right? Now let's create a new scene, which is going to be our player scene, so we can actually go through this test world. Okay, so I'm going to create a new scene here. It's going to be a player scene. The player scene is not going to be a 2D scene, but another node which is called kinematic body 2D. Basically, this is a node for like moving instances on your program. So if you want to create a player, then it's gonna be a kinematic body 2D. So this kinematic body 2D needs a collision shape. So we are going to add the collision shape for that. Let's add a collision shape 2D for now. Let's not add the shape like for now. Let's add an image to that. So you can add sprite, and then after that, if you want an animation, you can add animation player. But we're not going to do that. We're just going to add an animated sprite to our kinematic body 2D. Okay, let's rename this to player. And here at the animated sprite, I'm just going to create a new sprite frames. So I've created a new sprite frames, click on that, and you've got something like this. Now I'm just going to rename this to idle. And then I'm going to click this file here, file thing, and I'm going to go to my resource where I can add my image. So I'm going to add all of this in one go, open, and I've got something like this. Now I want this to like animate itself image per image. So I'm gonna go on displaying properties here, and I've got something like this. Now I want it to be a little bit faster. I'm going to change the speed here to 20. Right? So that's how I want my player to become, but you know, it's a little bit bigger for our world. So if we are going to instance that to our world right now, it's going to be this big. Alright, So it's not going to be like a logically playable game if this is how big your character is. So what we're going to do is we can adjust the image one by one, or we can transform the scale of our player. So I'm going to transform it to 0.3, and we can instantly make a player smaller. Alright, but I guess this is not the correct way to do that. It'll still take a lot of memory from our PC or mobile. So the best thing is to just shrink all the images and then use that for your player scene. Alright, so next thing we want to do is we want to move left and right. Okay, so in order to do that, we need a script for our player. So just click here in this icon here to add a script. Now I want to add a script on our script folder. Add a player script there, and you've got something like this. Alright, so I'm gonna add here a few variables. So declare variable, just type var, and then the name of the variable. I want to declare a speed to our player. So I want a speed of 100. I want a variable. It's going to be the velocity. It will determine where we are going to go, to the left or right, and how fast do we want to go. So I'm going to declare it as vector2, and it doesn't have any values, 0. Vector2 is a variable that will take two values. It's going to be in the x and the y axis. Right? The next is the direction, which is going to determine where what direction we are going to go. 0 as well. So now I've got speed, velocity, direction. Right? So I'm not going to use these functions here. So I'm going to delete this. Actually, we are going to use the physics process, but let's just delete this. Create a new function, func, and then physics process delta. Let's say pass for now. Now, if you don't know, the physics process is basically the it's going to execute every time our screen renders itself. So like we are rendering 60 frames per second, it will be called 60 times per second. Alright, so we are going to add some keys to some input keys to our game. Just go to the project settings, and then here at the input map you can add an action. So I want to add 3 actions. It's going to be the move left, the move right, and the jump. So later on we are going to add a jump. So yeah, we've got 3 actions here, but it doesn't have any assigned keys to them. So I'm going to add a key for jump, move left. It's going to be letter A. So if I press A, it's going to send a signal that I have pressed A, and it's going to execute like something, this action. Alright, and keys D, and then for the jump I want my keys to be space. Okay, now to check that, we can print the value of our input. So input that get action strength and move left. Now this will show us if we press letter A or not. Let's run a program. Alright, so it's 0 for now, and when we press letter A, it's going to be 1. Alright, so we can actually use that to check if we have pressed something or we didn't. Alright, so to do that, we are going to create a function. It's going to be determine direction. Alright, and it's going to get no, let's just alright, so here we are going to determine which direction we are moving. Okay, so let's return here, return vector2. Okay, the vector2 has 2 variables, the x and the y variables. So for the x, let's minus this. So let's minus the move left. No, let's minus the move right to move left, and for the x, let's just return 1 for now. Okay, the thing is that what is happening here is these values by default are going to like give us a value of 0, right? But when we press the move right, it's going to be 1 minus 0. It's going to result to 1. Now, I'm going to explain. Alright, so if the move left is pressed, it's going to give us -1, and the move right is going to be 0, so the result will be -1. I'm going to explain briefly how can we determine direction by these numbers: the -1, the 0, and the 1, the positive 1. So I'm going to go to the 2D. So as you can see here, this point here is the 0 point. This is the x-axis, this is the y-axis. Now, if we have the 0 point here, wherein our player is where right now, we can determine the direction by that. How so? So this is an x and a y-axis, and this here is the positive 1 value of x, and here from the left of where our player is located, as you can see in the line here, this is 0 value. This is -1. Now for the y, the top will be the -1, and here is the positive 1. Now we can determine the direction by the function that we've created here. So we are going to try to show the result here. We're going to print determine direction, and we're going to catch that with the direction variable here, and the direction will be shown the direction of x here. So if we run our program, if I press A, it will return -1, and I press D, it will return +1. Now as you can see here, we have here the speed. What we're going to do is we have determined the direction. If I press D, it's going to return +1. If I press X, it's going to return -1, and I have a speed of 400. Now, if I press D, we will times the speed of +1 to 400, and it will return us a 400 value. But if we press the A, it will return us -1, and it will times itself to 400, and it will return -400. That's what we're going to do. We have determined where our player is going to go. Yeah, I'm just going to show you that. So here, but I can close that. I'm just going to close this. Yeah. So here I have my direction. Now I want my direction to be times by the speed. Alright? Direction x actually. And then we have here the velocity. So I want the velocity x to take all of the value of direction times speed, which is going to determine where we are going to go. And there here at the bottom, I'm going to call a function specific for our kinematic body 2D, which is the move and slide function. It's going to take our velocity as well. Now the move and slide is going to be like move the kinematic body 2D to move our kinematic body to like something like 400 pixels positive or 400 pixels negative. So it's going to determine if we move move to right or to left. Like, it's hard to explain. It's like when I click A, it's going to move to left, and when I press D, it's going to move to right. So that's how it works. Okay. So that's it. But we are going to create a new function here which is called determine velocity. So determine velocity, we are going to calculate all of the things that are here inside of this method. So for instance, this velocity x times direction thing, we're going to calculate that here inside the determine velocity. We need to take a new variable here, which is our lane velocity, our lane speed, our lane direction. Alright, the 3. So we need to create a new variable here, new lane vel is equal to lane vel, and then this is what we are going to use here instead of using directly the variable on the top. So lane vel is equal to lane direction times lane speed, or so. And then we are going to add a new variable here, which is the gravity, and we're just going to add it as 100. As you can see, when we run our game right now, it's just, you know, it just flies and doesn't have a gravity. So we are going to add a gravity here. So lane vel. So when you add the gravity, you are going to determine the axis of y. Okay, so it's equal to gravity. So when you run our program right now, wait, let's velocity, let's give the velocity, the speed, and the direction. And then yes, this is how we want it to be. But here, let's return the lane velocity. So what we are doing here, we're just adding a value to our y. So for now, our velocity y is 0, right? So it's going to just fly. It's going to make our character fly. But if we increment 100 to our y velocity, it's going to have like a gravity because it's going to move positive. So this is the y, positive by 100 pixels, like I don't know if it's per second or per frames. So but if you run a program right now, it will fall. Alright, as you can see, it falls down here. That's when we are going to add our collision detection. So as you can see, we don't have collision to our player right now. We have a collision shape, but we haven't set up a shape for that. Now if we set up a shape like this, it's going to stop our player from falling through the test world, because our tile map also has a collision shape. Now I've got something like this. Okay, the next thing that we want to do is to add a jump ability to our player. So to do that, in order to do that, let's go back to our script here, and let's add here the determine direction. Let's add here a something so that we can determine if we're going if we are going down or we are going to go up. All right, so here we are going to return -1. That means we are going to go up. So this is our player is where, and if we want to go up, we are going to return in the direction of -1, and if it's going to go down, we're just going to return a positive value to our velocity. So let's return -1 if input get action strength jump is press, else return +1. Alright, so let's create here a new variable. It's going to be jump height equal to 1,500 for now. Now let's check it here at the bottom. So So the gravity will come first, and if we detected that, if our lean direction, that y is less than 0, it means it's negative, and we have, pressed the jump action, which is our space. Then lean dir that y is equal to lean dir that y, which is negative, times, let's add here another parameter, linear jump, right? And then times linear jump. It's going to be like 1500 times negative 1, negative 1500. It's going to jump up. Alright? Let's add a linear jump here. Linear jump height. Alright, so we've got something like this. Now, let's try our program. I don't think it will jump. Yeah, it's not going to jump. Wait for a while. Okay, so let's check our velocity. Velocity. Okay. So if it gives us negative y, so it doesn't give us negative y here, as you can see. It gives us only 100. So that is why we are not moving up. And why is that? Let's check our direction. If it gives us negative 1, right? So it's yeah, it gives us negative 1 here. So linear direction y, determine velocity, of course. Direction y is less than 0. It means it's going to be negative something, like alright, it's not the linear velocity, it's the linear direction that we are giving the value of this to. So it's not actually affecting our velocity. So we need to give the value of this to our velocity. Now when you run the game, it'll make our player like jump, and we can continuously do that, like continuously. This. Okay. So in order for us to not continuously do that, we are going to add something here in the move and slide method, which is going to be determine if we are on the floor or if we are not. So this is the on floor variable. It's going to have a vector2 dot up. Okay, and then let's add it here, the velocity. After that, let's print something here. So let's print is on floor. Okay, and then let's run again our program. So now we are on floor, and then if we jump, we are not on the floor. So by that, we can determine something. Here we are going to copy this method, and here if we jump, we need also to be on floor, or else we are just going to return 1. Okay, so let's delete this and run again, and we cannot jump continuously like that. See, if I long press a space, we cannot jump continuously like previous one. So we get something like this. Now we are going to add something like, if we stop or if we release the space button halfway, we are going to fall as well. So if I press the buttons, the space key right now, it will going to go up, and it's going to fall from its peak, right? So if I release, I want it to fall wherever it is, sorry. So that is going to determine by another variable here is stop. Alright, so here I'm going to use the stop variable. Stop variable is going to like input is action just release jump, and it's going to return true if we release jump, and it will return false if we don't release the jump. Okay, so here I'm gonna use this here at the bottom. If stop is true, make your linear velocity y 0. So now if we run our program, if we stop halfway, as you can see, it stop or jump. Okay, the problem with this is we can stop multiple times. For instance, so we can delay the fall of our player character. See that? And that is what kind of bug is that? So in order to prevent that, we are going to add here something, and velocity that y is less than 0. Now with that, wait. We only need to stop if our velocity is -1, right? So velocity is less than, wait, let's check the velocity here. And then we can do something with that. So if we jump, it's going to get negative, and when we fall, it's positive, right? So we can only make stop true if our velocity is less than 0. Yes, it's correct, I guess. Let's see. Yeah, we cannot stop it multiple times now, as you can see. Yeah, we can stop it multiple times. So this is correct, and now our player is all set up. Now we're going to add something at our player. So it only faces, for now, it only faces like the left side of alright, so it only faces the left side, and we want it to face the right side if we press the letter D. So what we're going to do is configure the property flip H. So as you can see, like that. So if we throw the flip H, it's going to face the right direction. If we false that, it's going to face the left direction. Okay, so we can configure that by code. Let's do something. Let's make functions here. So func determine face. It's going to take the linear direction, and if the linear direction that y is less than 0, okay, that means we are facing left. Then we have to get our sprite first. So we are going to do something with AnimatedSprite, not the player, and this script is on the player, so it doesn't have anything, like it doesn't have the flip H from the AnimatedSprite. So how to access the AnimatedSprite? Just declare that instantiate that here already var AnimatedSprite is equal to AnimatedSprite, and just use this instantiation here. Just AnimatedSprite flip H is equal to false. And we can else, but I'm not gonna go else. I'm just going to go for if again. And if y is positive, it's going to go to right. We are going to make this true. And let's try to run our program. Ah, no. We haven't declared that on the physics process. So I'm going to declare that after the declaration of direction, because we can determine the direction. And then put it there. Now let's oh no. That is wrong. Why? Because we are using the direction y here, and we want to use the direction x. And then, as you can see, we can now face left or right. The next thing that we want to do is to add like a camera to our player. So how to do that? It's very easy. There is a node called camera 2D and GODot. Just add a camera 2D to the player node. Just check the current, and then let's see. F5 to run the test world or main scene, and we have something like this. But this is not smooth at all, right? It's going to like very stiff camera to the player, and we don't want to do something like this. Let's go to the player, and here at the camera 2D, just select the smoothing property here, enable that, and now we can adjust the speed. So the lower the speed, the smoother your animation is. For instance, I'm going to the speed of 1, and this is how smooth it is. Alright. Right. So I'm not gonna go for 1. I'm going to go for like 4. So it's little bit smoother than before, right? So that's it. Now the problem is our background is like very small. It's showing the canvas here, and we don't want to do something like that. So the things that we can do is go to the test world and add a child node here. It's called canvas layer, and then add it here at the top, and then put the texture rec inside the canvas layer like so. But now we can see our player and tiles. So what is going on here? The canvas layer is going to determine which layer it's going to be rendered. So if it's layer +1, I guess it's going to render after the tile map in the player. So let's just make this -100, and then you've got an unlimited background because it's not going to move at all. As you can see, you can't see the canvas anymore, right? So now we can extend our tile map. This game is still not complete. You don't have any enemies. So if you want to make, or you want to continue this series, you can just subscribe and comment more features. But later on the series, I want to add some enemies that fires like something to us. I want to add, mission, a menu, as well as the bosses, sound effects, many things though. But for now, I'm just going to end the video in this state. Okay, so I'm gonna make another one if ever I want to make a one. So it's like flickering because of I am recording, and this PC is low end, so it's like full of processing. As you can see here, the host, yeah, so it's using the OBS Studio for like 30%. But without the OBS Studio, without recording, it's not flickering at all. It's flickering. It's giving us less frames. So that's the end of the video. I hope you like it. There are some things that I can't fully explain to you because of my limited, capabilities in speaking English language. I'm not very fluent at it. I'm very sorry for that. But that's the end of the video. You can subscribe, you can like if you want, and I'm just going to upload some more videos to complete this series. Thank you.